Hey, good morning, YouTube. It has been a long time since we've talked about crypto, and I want to give you a couple updates. I have an IOT miner that runs, and it's actually back behind my desk on the shelf right there. And then I also have some Solana that is staked, and I can give you show you the earnings on that. You know, kind of what's been happening with that over a period of time. I did crypto so that I could understand kind of what was happening, and for how it benefited me to understand what was going on, and to understand if it was an investment I needed to amplify or 10x, or if it just was something I could run as an experiment. And so let me get right into this. My Solana price here. Alright, so price of Solana, let's talk about that. I don't know why Solana goes up in value. I think it's based just on overall market. Bitcoin is up, Solana is up, maybe instability in some other assets. So we're going to look at try to look at this. Let me refresh that one, we'll go to this one. Okay, Solflare. Okay, on Solflare I have two things. One I have called Marinade Staked Sol. And so you have Solana, and Solana you can stake from like a Ledger Nano on Solflare, and it becomes part of the transmission network, and you get paid based on that. I'll show you that in a minute. Then you have something called Marinade Staked Solana, which is a token or crypto that represents the Solana that stays staked. So you can buy and sell this Marinade Staked Solana, and it's basically that the Solana that's there stays staked, and the interest just gets added to the value of the Marinade. So it allows you to buy and sell something that otherwise takes you 2 or 3 days to unstake and then to sell it. So this is Marinade staked, and so we'll look at this a week, a month. Here's the value over a month. Now you say, wow, 25 to 47. Well, maybe. But we look at a year, it was over here at 40 before. Then it dropped straight down. And now it's gained a little bit of popularity here. Now I can sell it. It's at 47, so it's $2,600. This is a good price. I mean, but how do I know when to sell and when to keep it? It's pretty tough. So let's look at the staking here. And this is the actual stake Solana. So you go out, when you want to stake Solana, you take your Solana, you put it on Solflare, and you go in and you select a validator, which is basically the CPU portion will stay, and that validator then uses your Solana as the proof of ownership, and that's what validates transactions. And so if you look at this, we can drop this down. You have 39 Sol, 1600 value, and this is every epoch, and an epoch is maybe 2 business days. So you'll see here the 31st, the 27th. Each epoch, at the end, you get paid a percent in Solana of the Solana amount you have. And so you can see here, this is on a yearly basis. So 0.016 Solana I got paid on the 39.11 Solana, and then this is 67 cents, so at a rate of 7.41. Now the thing I like about it is the 7.41. The thing I don't like about it is because Solana is actually inflationary. If you look it up, it will say it's not inflationary. And inflationary means that Solana is issued by creation of the token. The same as if they created money. They create the token. I believe right now they're creating tokens at a rate of 8% a year. I'm getting paid that 8% based on my ownership of Solana, minus fees that the validator is charging. Okay, so 7.6% of that 8. Now, in addition, there is money that people pay on Solana network to transfer tokens. So just like any payment processing, it costs something. And Solana is very, very, very cheap. So their cost to transfer is like 0.000005 Solana, which works out to a fraction of a penny for even large transfers in, let's say, 5 seconds. Very good payment network. However, I did some research, and at 8% inflation, if you go look and see what percent of that payout is from those transaction fees, it's less than 1%. It's so tiny. So if they stopped inflating the tokens, stopped printing tokens, and they just paid you, your percent would be, 0.02 or some real small percent, less than 1%. And so from that standpoint, you're better off owning treasuries, which are paying 5%. However, treasuries are in dollars, which are also being printed, right? Because we know that, because we've seen inflation. And so, 5% treasury rate and 8% inflation means you lose 3%. 8% inflation here, at least you're at 7.46%, so you're losing 0.4 or 0.5%. Now, the effect of inflation in general would be that the value would go down. And so let's see if I can find that. And so you'd see a general downtrend in this value. Let's look at a week, a month, a year. You'd see a general downtrend in the value. See how far we can get out. I don't know if we can. But you'd see like this, 8%. Okay. Now here means somebody created some new function or something happened. Now, I do know one thing that happened is the H&T Helium hotspot have been transitioned to the Solana network. I don't know the effect of that. It could be what we're seeing, but I'm not sure. So you've got this. So you've got a gradual decrease in price here as inflation occurs with no other factor. You're just going to go by 8% a year. You're going to get paid 7.4, and so you're going to go down just barely. But if it jumps up, then you're good. So that's Solana. That's how you can stake Solana. The reason when I got rid of all the rest of my crypto after Celsius went under, got rid of the Celsius, it was gone, toasted when I went bankrupt, so I pulled out my BlockFi. I got things out of Nexo, sold those things, because once you take a crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever it is, and you put it on a marketplace that could go bankrupt, that risk factors in there, just negates your entire earnings. So as if you're earning 8% on a non-inflationary token, for instance, and there's a 10% risk that it goes bankrupt or a 30% risk it goes bankrupt, then the problem is that 30% risk makes your return negative 24% or negative 30% or whatever that risk is minus your return. And so you can't have an investment like that. So the Solana, the reason I kept it was Solana you can stake while it's on your Ledger Nano. So this thing goes, bankrupt, ChainNode goes bankrupt, the site goes bankrupt, it's all on my Ledger Nano. I still have my Solana. And that is also the problem with this Marinade stake. I think there's some exchange risk on the Marinade stake. So I really was just experimenting. I understand how it works now. And I will probably either sell it or sell it and swap it back to Solana that I could stake on my Ledger Nano to remove that risk of that. But let's just go into this and I'll show you the returns. The difference between these four is just I stake them at different times, so I can't consolidate them without unstaking and then coming back. And down here you have the second one, 7.48. I should probably have different validators, but I don't. This one was the one I found that I liked. So you have all these things here. Now, the other thing I need to look at some point is how much Solana do I have that's not staked just from interest. Now this says 1131, but that can't be right. So I don't know if, when this stakes here and I receive that reward, does it go back into this balance or not? I don't really know that. I could look back and see what my prior balances were maybe, but I don't really know that that goes into here or separately. But 67 cents. And so if you look at my portfolio, it says 1131. So I'm guessing that it maybe reinvests or something, but I'll have to check that out and see. So here's the second one. The second one is Helium miner. And Helium miner, and here's a hotspot. We'll switch back as that pops up here. May take a minute. But here's a Helium net that transmits IOT. You did get paid in Helium tokens, but that has switched to what's called IOT tokens. And IOT tokens are worth a lot less. So yesterday I got $151.9 or 151.98 IOT tokens, and I looked at the value of that, and that is 7 cents. So yesterday I got 7 cents off of this. This represents the value of, let's say, $500 for the miner minus whatever it cost me to run it. So over a month, if 7 cents times 10 would be 70 cents, so $2.10 a month. That's it. So does that cover electricity? I don't know. But that's where it is today. And if you go back and you say past 30 days, 3,800, you can see a graph here. Maybe I can go farther, I don't know. No. And you go back to H&T, it's not doing H&T. And what happens is this IOT just accumulates until I go into my device and then hit a button, and it all pays out to my wallet. So I think in my wallet I have like 30 something dollars value of these tokens and the other tokens, H&T tokens. So not that much. So between the two, definitely just the regular Solana staking is better. This actually transferred to the Solana network, which is a little weird, but it just means that it uses the Solana network to transfer the funds, which makes it a lot cheaper. We can look at activities. I have to sign in for that. I'm not going to do it. Let's see. Just rewards, basically. You can look at witnesses. But that's it. I have a few other of these miners I didn't even set up. But the investment to me, because on some other things, was kind of worth just trying it to see what the destination of H&T miners was, and what the opportunity was. Now, I will tell you that if you look at all the different investment things I've done, here's H&T, here's Solana, Solana. I put things on Celsius, on BlockFi, on Nexo, on Coinbase, and the barriers to entry are kind of low for that, and the returns are also low. Real estate, the returns are higher, barriers to entry are higher. I've done eBay and Amazon selling. Some of the barriers to that are higher, especially the Amazon selling. And I will say that if it's something everybody can do, then you're probably not going to make a high percentage of doing it, because everybody's competing in that same capital marketplace, and so your margins basically go down to zero when everybody's able to compete in that same situation. Capitalism basically works all the margins out of the system, and what you're really looking for is a situation when there are barriers to entry. So it's a monopoly or partial monopoly, or there's factors in it such as inflation in the housing market and debt that help you get a superior return, or some ability you have. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you have the ability to fix up a house, and by fixing up that house, you buy the house at 20% under market value. That means that the return on that house the rest of your life is going to be 20% higher than what someone else would get because you bought it for 20% less, which could also mean that you can refinance it out, pull all your money out, and negative return, positive cash flow asset, which is really the place you want to be, and especially over time. And so I just wanted to share this stuff with you. So you guys saw the Solana, so you saw the H&T, understood what the returns are, short term, long term, what my thoughts were. I don't think Solana is bad. If you're gonna have a crypto, I would say get it off an exchange and get one that pays you money while you own it, so that it becomes at least an attempt at an investment. And so that's how I see it. You like and subscribe down below if you want to see more. Ask me if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you guys later.